This is a funny testimony, but I'll tell you anyway. The Lord brings it to my remembrance. I've been seeking him for just healing in every aspect of my life for several years now. And one thing at a time it's happened. From I had a root canal that went wrong. And so it was like, like it was eating into the bone of my jaw to the point. So it was just tender all the time. And I went to see not the dentist, but the other, whatever they're called. And he's looking at it and he's like, to fix that, I got to drill into the side of your jaw and I got to do these things. And he's like, but we can wait if you want to, since it's only tender. Like I was still able to eat and stuff like that. So I was like, let's wait. Whew, so glad I decided to wait because the Lord healed it. Like one day I was sitting outside and the Lord's like, did you notice? I'm like, notice what? He said, touch your jaw. And I was like, oh, it's healed. No glory. Like it just happened and I didn't even know it. And he had to point it out to me later. Oh yeah. So from that, he did that. And then he healed me. I had this nasal polyp in my nose. It was probably like this, almost the size of a green olive, like shoved up my nose. You could go back and see pictures and you could see that my nose was bigger because there was that big of a thing in my right nostril for 3 years. For 3 years, no air moving through that side of my nose. 3 years. And I'm asking the Lord for healing from this. I wanted a miracle. Like I'm like, let's go to like some cool revival service. And like the polyp falls out of my nose onto the ground. And like I'm just asking him, for these things over and over again. I'm just asking him. And then I finally just like entered the rest of faith. And then I heard the Lord say, stop using your hair gel. And I didn't know it was about my nasal polyp or that nasal polyp. And I stopped. I was like, okay, fine. I'd been using this hair gel for 10 years. Every day, putting this hair gel in my hair. I stopped using it. Within 2 weeks, the nasal polyp was gone. But the one I want to tell you about, here's the funny one. I was like, okay, so Lord, you've done all these great things. Was also delivered from a spirit of infirmity before that had me thrown up all the time. Haven't thrown up since I was delivered from that 3 years ago. Not even once. Haven't even thrown up once. So good. So good. God is so good. And so I'm like, Lord, let's go all in. Like I had these warts on my thumb. I was like, I don't like these. Like, I don't like them. So I curse them and I command them to go. And then they stuck around. And they stuck around and then finally just entered the rest of faith. And I said, I'll leave it in the Lord's hands. I don't know how long went by. Months went by. And one day I'm feeling my thumb and it's smooth. And I'm like, there's not even a scar there. And like this was huge, like a huge wart on my thumb. And then I also had one on this finger over here, like in between my fingers. So I like went over there and I was like feeling it. And it was gone too. Like they were all gone. Isn't that a funny testimony? Huh? Pastor is healed of his warts. I can see the headline now. How did that happen? How did I even get healed of the warts that were on my hands? By entering into his rest. Faith is a rest. If you're struggling and striving for what you're believing for, you're not in a place of faith. If you're struggling and striving for what you're believing for, you are not in a place of faith because faith is a rest. Faith is a rest. Faith is a rest. If you're worried about it, you're not in faith. If you're frustrated with it, you're not in faith because faith is a rest. Faith is not frustrated. Faith is not worried. Faith is not striving. Faith is not hustling. Faith is rest. This is a good measurement for you. Am I actually walking this out in faith? Are you resting? What do we mean by rest? I feel like we got to clarify this because the American version of rest, when we say rest, we picture vegging out on the couch. Like disappearing from the world for several days. It's like, I'm going to rest. That's not rest. That's lethargy. As Oklahomans say it, lethargy. What's biblical rest? Anybody know what biblical rest is? It's a firm expectation that God's going to do what he said he's going to do, so you don't even have a worry in your mind because you're just like, yep, he's going to do it. No matter how much time goes by, he's going to do it. And so you're just you're relaxed. What do you got to be uptight about if you believe God's going to do it? What are you uptight about? What are you worked up about if you believe God's going to do it? Well, I thought he would do it within the hour. Well, I thought when hands were laid on me that I would instantly be healed. Oh, time, the great enemy of our faith. If you would get your mind off the time, it would help you a lot. If you would not decide like what time frame these things should happen, it would help you a lot. If you would release time into the Lord's hands, it would help you a lot. Yeah, but I want it to happen tomorrow. Just give it over. Give the time to God. Why? Because faith is a rest. How long can you rest? Forever. So just go ahead and enter into his rest.